Okay, we are back on with Jerry Szoka from The Grid, and if anyone has any questions for Jerry or just wants to say hello, you can call in 216-687-3515. I know someone was calling while we were taking a break, but I don't answer phones during breaks, so
yeah.
You can call in. You can call in now, and I'll put you on the air.
Did they stop calling?
They did stop calling.
How rude!
Actually, right when I went to pick up, they were gone. I said, "All right, I'll pick up," and then they were gone.
Done with you, whoever you are.
216-687-3515, and we're on a 7-second delay, so hopefully, after the word is out, some people will call.
So we'll catch those swear words.
yeah, exactly. All those naughty words.
What if I say one? Will you bleep it?
Well, you said a couple, but
I did not.
They weren't. You said bitch.
Oh, bitch ain't a swear word.
Yeah, that's. I let that go. Okay, someone's calling. I am going to
do it.
Put them on. So,
okay.
WCSB, you're on the air.
Hey, I am calling because I'm dying to know if Jerry's going to stage any more of these kinds of events. I want to see if he'd do a pop-up or something.
Oh, like a party, a grid party thing?
Yeah, get some of those tapes back out there.
You know what? I've been thinking about that. I really have. Once in a while, I pop my head out of the sand and show my face out in public at a club or something, and it never fails. If someone comes up to me, it's like, when are you going to do a club? When are you going to do something? There is no place to go. There's no place to dance. There really isn't. And I'm not bragging, but it's just, I'm stating a fact. When the Grid closed, that was it. There was no cool, fun place to dance.
I know. I used to go to the Grid. I used to go to Numbers with my gay friends. It was so much fun.
There you go, honey.
You guys were the best, and it's crickets and tumbleweeds now. But there's
true.
There's a few cool things happening a little bit underground. I think that would be fun to plug into. I'd like to see you show up there. Some of these places. Maybe you could, talk to Jake there and maybe bring some of those tapes back somehow.
Well, I guess I can announce this now. Jerry is going to come out of retirement I'm throwing a New Year's Eve party, and Jerry's going to be the MC.
Ooh.
And maybe he'll even spin a set if he's down. Yeah, we'll have the equipment, but we are doing an all-night dance party at a DIY venue I run called the Inner Space at 5301 Franklin Boulevard in the old Buddhist temple. So Jerry, I think will be there on New Year's Eve for a party.
All right,
a one night only, resurrection of the Grid style.
Thanks for everything. You're like the boss. You did all this great work.
Oh my!
And I'm sorry you don't have the station anymore, but
I'm trying to figure out how to get back into radio. It doesn't have to be my own station, but maybe on a station like this or one of the big broadcasts, just say, look, I guarantee if I get a time slot, let's just say 104, which is, they're all sad. But if I did a Saturday night stint from 8 to midnight, I said, I guarantee you will have more listeners at that time slot than any other time slot during the entire week. I guarantee it. There's no question about it. So I just haven't done that yet. So
have you talked to John Gorman at all to try to do an alternative bet with his thing that he's doing?
I see John Gorman every week or two. Yes, I'm actually working in the building that he has a station in, and he's work. Yes. Hopefully, he's got his station now. The next station in the works would be a dance station, which he's told me. He says, "Look, it's your station. You're going to do it." I'm like, okay, well, just let me know. No. Yes.
Cool. Well, keep us all posted. Thanks for everything.
You're most welcome.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Huh.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
John Gorman? John Gorman, yeah.
Oh, John Gorman. Please, honey. John Gorman, I gotta come over there and smack you right now. That's all right. Your youth is your escape right now. But WMMS back in the 70s and early 80s, was the number one station in the country, hands down.
I've heard tales. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was due to John Gorman. He was the behind-the-scenes programmer of that station, and flicked all the right switches and got the right people in and this and that, and he knew what he do. Much like my fight with the FCC, his fight was with the rest of the other stations in the country, and he won. He was number one for 10 years running or more. So that's who John Gorman was, and he was one of the people right behind me in court, fighting with the FCC. He was right there, and I appreciate it. Thank you, John. So.
I don't. You were talking about like getting a show on 104, but do commercial stations even let DJs play stuff anymore?
I have no idea. Does anybody know?
I don't really know. My dials usually turn to this or RUW.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I can't listen to that. Yeah, if you want to hear Bob Seger every day, and Pink. I love Pink Floyd, but enough is enough. Every station, be it from 98.5 to 102 to 104 to 10, that 106.5 is pathetic. And those DJs they have on there, oh my God, somebody just slit their throat, please. It's horrible.
No, anytime you scan through the radio, I can guarantee that Hotel California will be on one of the stations at some at all times in any city that it's on the air on some station.
I was scanning through the dial, and on 102 and like 106, the exact same song was playing. I'm like, and they were like, 10 seconds apart of it being at the exact same point in time of that song. I'm like, oh my God, somebody just kill me. Get me out of here. So, yeah.
So since the grid's gone down, you haven't been back on the radio? You haven't had a show at RUW again or anything like that?
No, I thought, I tried to make contact at RUW, but it just didn't work out.
Did you lose heart for a while, or
no?
Just kind of went on doing your own thing.
Just doing my after the grid, I lost all my money. Okay, my entire life savings on the grid. My partners closed the grid, did not even tell me. I'm going to just say it. They basically stole all the equipment, sold it all. I didn't get a dime, lost all my life savings, and I basically had to start over from scratch, which fortunately I'm an electrician, so I'm picking up the pieces, I'm still picking them up. I mean, when you lose all your money from, all of it gone, you got to pick up somewhere. So that's what I've been doing. And it's really sad because I literally, and I'm talking literally by hand, built that nightclub and the light show. I mean, there was light effects in there that aren't anywhere available. I literally made the light effect, Wow. And that's all gone anyway. I'm not crying over it. I mean, I'm sad, and it's still a sore spot, of course. When you have your baby taken from you.
Sure.
Come on, please.
Do you have any tapes of video footage from parties and stuff?
I, being the genius with foresight that I have, stroke. I had a professional documentary crew come in at the closing of the old grid and document everything, interview people, record the people dancing and the blah blah blah. Yeah, so I've got all that, and then I had the same crew come in, and I've got 15 DVDs full. Okay, that's a lot of material which has not been edited yet after how many years at home, of the opening of the new grid with camera crews and light crews and microphone people.
They're waiting for Jan Campbell.
Waiting for there goes, that limo wasn't her. Who's that? Okay. Yeah, and interviewed and documented the opening of the new grid. So I have all that footage.
Wow.
And all the yes, I have it all.
Waiting for someone to come in and turn into something tangible.
I just haven't done anything with it. I need to.
We got another call.
What? Okay.
Put them on. Yeah.
Put them on.
All right. WCSB, you're on the air.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of put 2 cents in here. I'm a 53-year-old. I grew up in Brunswick, and we didn't get too many stations except WMMS, WGCL.
WGCL, oh my.
The garbage,
Yes, I remember WGCL.
And the only one that really was worth it, again, was WMMS, and thanks to Mr. Gorman.
Yes.
But when I went to visit my grandfather, who lived in Parma, right by Tri-C, they had their little antenna, which was huge. We could get the little stations. And I remember as a kid, I had this little AM/FM transistor radio that I would try to find songs that I'd never heard before. Mm-hmm. And it takes me to today because I only listen to college radio because it takes me to places I've never been. Mm-hmm. And really, people need to, pardon the expression, reopen their little pirate radio station, so to speak. Give more voices than the every 4 hours playing the same song.
Right, exactly. That was one of the fights I was fighting.
Yeah. I guess now with the internet and with podcasts and everything, not a lot of people have that fight in them for radio, because most people just like, I'll just start my own podcast on, whatever. There's unlimited bandwidth, for anybody who wants to start a radio can just do it on the internet now, even though you're not going to get...
I've been told by several people I should do that. That's what, get on the net and do a thing. I'm like...
It wouldn't be a bad idea. Unfortunately, due to what I do, I'm in construction. I may not be at the mercy of having some place that has really great internet connection.
Right.
So I have my old standby radio that is literally, and you can ask any of my friends, it's tuned to WCSB.
There you go.
And it stays there, and I've gotten so many people hooked on certain shows, shall we say. And this is one that people go, well, they're talking. Yeah, but listen to what they have to say.
Yeah, it's good talk.
It's not, well, the Cavs lost today and the Indians lost today and the Browns,
somebody
they didn't even play and they still lost.
Exactly.
It's different because it's refreshing. It's not something we hear and day out.
This guy has got something to say, and I like it. Yes, he's right.
Like I said, I'm 53. I remember going to downtown Cleveland, when I was old enough, and getting into different clubs and so forth, and they're no longer there. Right. The flats aren't what they used to be.
What are the flats? What's that? Thank you, Michael White, for destroying the flats.
Exactly. I mean, you could go to, I'll use Jimmy's in the Flats. Jimmy Haley was a very good friend of my family. We could go into Jimmy's and you could hear hard rock, heavy metal that you didn't even know existed, and then go to Fagan's and catch one of the local acts, Paul Fairweather or whoever, and then go down the street to the Beach Club or Sammy's, and it was always different.
Right. Yep.
And we're missing that today, and that's why I am so thankful for college radio, all the stations, because it's something that we are missing. And Mr. Gorman has his internet radio station, and I listen to that when I have a chance. It's what we're missing in the world, and I'm so thankful that we still have WCSB on the air. Even, I didn't donate much, but I donated what I could.
Good enough.
All right, well, thanks for calling. Thanks for your... input there.
Yeah, great.
Have a good day,
gentlemen. You have a wonderful day. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah, he says a lot. He said a lot there, and I completely agree with him. In fact, I happened to be. This was probably 1984, 5, 6, somewhere in there. I'm flipping through the dial, and I hear this, I don't know, comedian thing on the air. I'm like, what is this? I'm at home, and it's just a little radio. I have a little tuner, and I just stumble upon some comedian thing, and I heard that for the first time, and I laughed so hard I was crying. And it happened to be WRUW. It was a college station. I'm like, what is this? Well, it took me stumbling upon that one time, and I was hooked to college radio. I have presets for RUW and CSB.
Yeah.
I think those are the only two I have. Yeah.
I grew up all the way out there around Oberlin, LaGrange, out in those parts, but we couldn't get CSB, but we could pick up RUW. And as a teenager, I mean, I would just I just knew 91.1.
91.1.
It was like the weirdest stuff. Yeah, for me, like, I mean, I didn't have exposure to much out those ways. So I just knew the weirdest stuff would always be on 91.1. Johnny Midnight's show and different stuff they used to be on.
Yeah.
Sounds of Nature. Who knew what would be on there? But it was always something pretty. I know it was very different from any of the other stations. So.
That's what I enjoyed. Just the different things, and that's the commercial stations, and that's, everybody knows this already. They will not go out on a limb. No. The closest thing is, and it's still 6 feet under and pathetic and dead and buried, is 106 is their slogan. We play anything, and then the DJ will say something like something so stupid that it's geared toward a 6-year-old's mentality, and I'm like, this is the best we have to offer. Yeah, please. I mean, they're the only ones that are like trying to do something different. It's like, we'll play anything. Okay. They'll go from, let me call in a request. All right? Yeah, you'll play anything? Try this one, honey. See if that one works. Yeah, no. They'll what's that? Who? What? Yeah, I never heard of them. Oh, let's see. It was a huge club hit, back in whatever. You're going to play anything, but you'll play this, decrepit old 100 song, the song you've played 100 times. You'll play that and repeat over and over and over. Don't tell me some idiot who's drunk is probably requesting it, Whatever. Anyway, enough of that one.
Do you still go out to clubs and stuff?
No, there's no place to no place to go.
No place to hear. Yeah.
No, I'm into a DJ that. Okay, I go to Chicago once in a while, and I even go to their clubs and check them out and all this. Once in a while, they'll have a good DJ. Even Chicago has pathetic DJs. I'm a stickler for mixing. Okay, let me explain something here. There's a difference between a DJ and a record player. Most people who think they're a DJ are nothing more than a record player. Okay, they can put a needle on that turntable, and they can play the next song after that. Their mixing might be okay, or their mixing might be fabulous. But let me tell you something. There's a lot more than mixing a song together. There's a journey you're taking that crowd on. Okay. And when you mix one song into the next, it's got to say something. My philosophy when I was DJing was, I'm just the car, and you're in the driver's seat. I've got a car with the engine running, honey. I've got a good beat going, but I ain't going to tell you where to drive that car. That's where you figure that out. I got the car going, the gas, and everything's going. You figure out where to go. I just got the momentum for you. And I think that's wonderful, because then everybody can go on their own little journey. And I tend to, not always, but probably 50% of the time, I like to play songs that have minimal words. It's just the beat. Mm-hmm. So that way your mind can go anywhere you want. Okay? And over the whole night, you should be on like a roller coaster. You take them up on a high, and then you drop them down. And then you take them back up, and you drop them down. It's none of this monotone, one track mind where it's all one level. It's like doon, 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 doon. Okay. I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
The music and turning up the sound system, turning up the music louder does not make it better, people. Okay. Loudness does not make it better. I had a partner in the nightclub. I come walking in one night at the Grid, and there was one person on the dance floor. I'm not going to say who it was. They know who it is. I go walking in there, and my ears literally almost started bleeding. It was so loud on the dance floor. I go running up to that DJ booth, and I turn the music down. I probably should have turned it down gently and a little slower, but I went up there and I turned it down pretty fast, because first of all, it was so loud you're probably going to blow a speaker somewhere. And second of all, there's no people there to absorb the sound and the energy, so it's reflecting all over the place, and the highs are screaming. I went and turned it down. I'm like, okay, first of all, loudness does not make it better, okay? So I turned it down so it was acceptable. And then I go up in the booth and I find it's one of my partner's boyfriends DJing up there. Which, you know what? I don't care. He couldn't mix worth a damn, he's whatever. But, I don't think as an owner of the club you should be having your boyfriend in the booth DJing if he doesn't know what he's doing. This is a nightclub, and we're here to, put out the best product we can, not somebody who thinks he can play records. Anyway, so I go on up there. He comes up in the booth, my partner, and what are you doing? You're trying to ruin my boyfriend's set. I'm like, look, honey, you don't have a clue about how a sound system should be operated. So I turned it down. Loudness does not make it better. You're going to blow a speaker. Well, I'll pay for any speakers that blow. And guess what? He did. 2 speakers were blown. He had to replace them. These are little behind the scenes things.
Yeah.
And it got into a big fight and all this. And, anyway. So, yeah. So the point of the story is, just because you have the ability to turn the sound up so loud that airplanes can hear you doesn't make it better. Okay? It's all in the EQing of the system and the quality of the product you're playing.
When's the last time you DJ'd out?
Let's see. When were you in high school? It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was in high school when the grid was shut down. Like,
right, okay.
It was by the time I graduated, there was no more grids.
Oh yeah, you missed out, honey. You really did. It was the bomb, and I was the parties I would throw. They were let me tell you one party. This is the kind of parties I threw. Okay, so we would just make up parties. I'd come up with it, and I had my creative crew around me. That wasn't always me, but I would always take people's ideas, and if it wasn't a good idea at that point in time, I'd say, well, I don't think that's going to work. Let's put it on a shelf over here, because it might work for something else. Nobody's idea was ever bad. It was just, it worked or it didn't work for that moment in time. Mm-hmm. So I go, let's come up with like a white trash party, something sick. I always wanted sick parties, just something disturbing. So and I had a guy, he used to work on Hollywood movies, and so we had a video guy, and we had a light man, and a DJ area, and each person had their own area in the booth. And my video guy also was the guy who would come and build our props and paint the walls. And when I throw a party, my dear, the walls were painted, props were made, and everything. So the place was transformed into, and it's not where you just go to Walmart and buy a little cardboard cutout of some stupid thing and scotch tape it to the wall. Okay, that's offensive to me. No, I had 3D props made and light effects and this and that and walls painted. So as you walk in, it's like, oh my God, this is Disney World. Okay, my philosophy is when that customer walks through the door, they don't want to know what's going back out, what happened out on the street. Once they walk through that door, it's Disney World. They want to forget their problems. And that's the way we treated them, okay? So I threw a white trash party, and the dance floor at the new place had 2 huge garage doors that were, probably 20 feet high. A tractor trailer could go through. That's how tall they were, okay? And it was right off the dance floor. So, the dance floor opened at 10 o'clock. There was 2 parts of the bar, the front half and then the dance floor half. And I could close the dance floor half off, so when we would throw, we could keep the place, people up front, and it would look like there was more people. When the dance floor opened at 10 o'clock, then the whole place was open, all right? So the dance floor opened at 10 o'clock, and we had them come in at 10 o'clock, and we had the place all decorated with, like, clotheslines with dirty clothes hanging on. It was a white trash party. So, and the trailer painted on the wall, and just, just old tires and stuff. It was just pathetic. That's the white trash party. So, okay, so it's like 11 o'clock. Party started at like 11:30, all right, even though the dance floor was open. Okay, so it's 11:30. We dim all the lights. We turn the music off, and we say, I don't know, whatever I said, and the party is starting. Welcome to the white trash party, okay? And then I start playing Car Wash, the song Car Wash. And I have lights focused on the 2 garage doors, and they slowly start opening up. And in comes, driving in on the dance floor, is a frickin' tractor trailer right into the club with drag queens on the front of the truck singing Car Wash, cleaning the truck as it drives into the dance floor on the floor.
Don't think I've ever been to a party like that.
Those are the kind of parties I throw. Just absolute sickness.
Well, maybe you should be in charge of our New Year's Eve party then, if you got some ideas stirring. I'm pretty down to bring in a tractor trailer or something. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I like the anything goes.
That's where I was. As long as it was sick and twisted, I'm all for it.
I'm pretty into that. We just had someone calling, but they stopped. You were telling the story, so I didn't ping up. But if you were just calling, call back, and I'll put you on now. 216-687-3515. We got about a half hour left in the program, so get your calls in now.
Get your questions in now.
Yeah.
So as far as the micro broadcasting, I don't know of any other small low power FM stations that have popped up in the Cleveland area. There was one, you know what? In fact, on 96.9, if you go out west, and it just irks me to no end. It's a Christian country. Well, the two go hand in hand. Some kind of Christian country station that's got 96.9 out by way over.
Oh man, we got another caller.
Hello.
Put him on.
Okay.
WCSB, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I just like to make a comment about what some people think the lack of live music in Cleveland is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 56 years old and remember the hectic town in the Flats area.
Mm-hmm.
But there are places to go to now. You just need to be a little bit more adventurous and go out. One place I frequently go to is the Beachland Ballroom.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, out on the east side there.
Yes, they have a diverse menu of music playing constantly. And you can just walk in and experience anything that you've never heard before. And it's wonderful to have a place like that.
Oh, yeah.
So close.
There's plenty of good. I don't think there's a lack of good venues in Cleveland.
No.
For it to see, I mean, Cleveland, any night of the week you can go see some live music.
Yeah.
I don't know, but as far as clubs go,
Yeah.
I think what we're talking more specifically here than like live music is clubs where you can have a transcendent dancing experience
Exactly.
late into the night and just kind of free all inhibitions. There's a few things going on, but they pop up for a little while.
Yeah, I'm not at all minimizing the live experience for bands and things. Absolutely not. Cleveland has always been a trendsetter in that area.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is a club with a DJ and vinyl and whatever, spinning and taking you on a journey that way, where you can, have music imported or something from the 70s you throw in and this and that. That's what I'm focusing on. So I hope that
those are far few in our area.
Yes.
And they were, more frequently out there during our era.
Right.
So to speak. And I could tell you that if there were parties like that where 50-year-old people would be welcome at, it would be a huge hit, because whenever there's music playing of that era, I know my friends, whether they're single or married, all go out to party down and listen to live music and dance. It's just hard to find, but you just gotta
Well, we're the same age. We're the same age, so I would absolutely.
It's hard to find a mix, because if you're just playing old stuff, if it's just a nostalgia fest, then you're only going to get 50-year-olds in there. I think something that can bring bring a whole big crowd in, that young people can enjoy and the older crowd can enjoy, would be something I would be looking for, where everyone's welcome, where you do play that old. Yeah.
I totally agree. And often I go to the House of Blues, and where there's a very diverse crowd there, all ages, and really enjoying whatever type of music it is. And I even go with my younger adult children and have a blast. And there are places, they're not as wild as it used to be. There was a few after-hours places down in the Flats back in the day that were an absolute ball to go to. I don't think I'll ever see that again.
Yeah.
But, Cleveland is still there. You just have to maybe to go find what's there.
All right, thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for your input.
Thank you. It's fun listening to you.
Thanks.
I was always a stickler for, when I was DJing, to make sure that I appealed to all ages. We had the full gamut when I was with at least at my club. 18 you could get in. We made sure you weren't drinking until you're 21. 18 to death. Anybody could come in. I didn't care.
Yeah.
In fact, what I would do, I had two rules. I had two rules at the Grid that were: I would fire you. One, I would fire you. The other one, I'd slap you around a little bit. Do not tell people I'm the owner. I don't want people to know. I want people to think I'm just some regular schmo, and I did that because I want them to, when I'm talking to someone, to tell me what they really thought of the club. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Because if they know I'm the owner, they're going to sweet talk and sugarcoat it and all. I don't want that. Tell me the truth. I have no filter. When I think of something, I say it. It just comes out. So I've had to restrain myself on the air here. And so that was the one rule. The other rule was never, ever, ever turn the house lights on until the last person has exited the door. Never, ever do that. And the reason is, like I said, it is Walt Disney World. They're in there to have a good time. When those ugly lights come on, there's a reason they're called.
back to reality.
They're back to reality. I will not ruin their experience. When they exit the door, that's when they go back to reality. Not in this club. Okay, so those are my 2 rules. So what I would do frequently is I'd be up in the DJ booth spinning, doing my thing. And I'd put on a record, and I'd come out of the booth, and I'd go out on the dance floor, and I'd just be dancing around with people, just like I'm one of the crowd. And I'd bump into someone, and I'd say, I know the DJ. He's a friend of mine, and do you have a request? I could get a request on right now for you, if you want. And they'd be like, you do? I'm like, yeah, I could tell them. So they would tell me a request. I'd go up in the booth. I'd find the record. I'd play it. I did that all the time. They didn't know who I was. And I love it. That way you get a good feedback of what people want to hear and this and that. And then they feel special. It's like, they played my song. Okay? Yeah, so I would do that all the time. And that's what made the club fun.
Yeah.
It's those little things that you really don't know about, that only a few people know about, but they'll tell 2 people, and they'll tell 2 friends, and they'll do like the hair commercial, and they tell 2 friends, and that's what makes a club work, is those little things. I never had a philosophy of when they walk in that door, you turn them upside down, shake all the money out of their pockets, and then throw them out. That is the most offensive thing ever. You just don't do that. I earn people's money. I don't expect it. In fact, I would be up in the booth and I'd be throwing a party or whatever. And there's certain people, and this is straight club, gay club, doesn't matter what club, there are certain people who are, the hoity-toities and the full and this and that think they're, what doesn't stink, who come to the clubs. Okay, fine. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help make you have a good time, or entertain you. Well, I would see them come to the club. They didn't come out all the time, all right? But I would see them come out, whoever these people were. I didn't know them, but I knew of them, okay? So I would see them out in the club, sitting or doing whatever they're doing. Well, certain people follow those people, whether they admit it or not. They'll never admit, I follow her because, she knows their name, whatever. Well, I knew that. I would know, okay, if that person's here, that means that there's other people following them and that this is a cool place to be, and, it's the cool people. Mm-hmm. Okay? Well, then I would go down once in a while, and I just walked up to someone and say, I don't know you. I'm Jerry, the owner, and I know of you. I know that you're very discriminating in your taste, and, some things just, are beneath you and this and that. And I said, I'm not here to judge you. I don't care. I just want to say thank you for coming. I realize you're here, and that must mean I did something right that you like. I said, I don't know what it is. You don't have to tell me. I said, but I just want to say thank you for coming. And then I'd walk away, because I knew that something I did was right, that this cool person is here, and that 30 other people who won't say that they're following this cool person are here. You know? So those are the kind of things that, if you're not in tune with your crowd, you'll never have a clue what you're doing right or wrong. And those are the little things I noticed. It's those little things. They're unspoken. Totally. Nobody will admit it. But I know it. I know they're here. And I know that they would never go out with me or socialize with me. I don't care. But you're here spending your money in my club. I did something right. Okay? So, and that was the same philosophy I put on the radio, with the fight with the FCC. I did everything to the absolute nth degree. That was the highest standard I could do. And that's why when I fought the FCC, they couldn't get me on anything. Because the philosophy I had in the nightclub, and noticing these little hoity-toities that would come in but never admit it, and because I did something right, I made sure that same philosophy was carried over onto the fight with the FCC. I did everything 100% right, except I didn't have that little piece of paper. That's the only thing that I didn't have. That little stupid piece of paper. Why am I getting feedback? Okay, my headphones. Let me turn them down. There we go. Yeah. So.
Okay, we got 20 minutes left in today's program. If you have questions for Jerry, any last questions? 216-687-3515 is the number to call.
That's right.
I want to thank Jerry for coming up here and getting up so early.
Yeah, I was a little concerned because you never know. So rush hour, I'm living out on the west side, and you never know what rush hour is going to do. And I don't come down this early. Yeah. I usually wait till like 10 o'clock before I go downtown. Sorry. Well, today, I started at like 8:15, driving from the west side to get here by, like 10 to 9. Zoom right in, no problem. I'm like, wow, since they opened that bridge, traffic seems to be moving. Or something's going on today where nobody went to work. It's one of those.
I usually don't have a problem getting up here in the mornings like I used to. I mean, I've been on the air almost 10 years now, and I've always done like a 9 a.m. show or even 7 a.m. for
What's
a while.
Wrong with you?
But I don't know.
Something's wrong.
It's just the way it works, and I'm not even a morning person. I feel like I would do much better at night. It's just the way it works out that I've always been on in the morning somehow. But yeah, it used to take me a long time to get up here. In the last few years, it's been pretty. I'm on a west side or two. It's a pretty quick jump over here now. I'm not stuck in traffic like I used to be. So that's good.
Huh? Wow.
Good thing about living in Cleveland and not much traffic.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Pure perks here.
Yeah, when I visit my friends in Chicago, the traffic up there, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And, just about the clubs in Chicago, too. When I would go up there, it's like, oh, wait, they're going to have all these really cool clubs and this and that. So we go to Boys Town area, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is the best they have to offer in Chicago? Really? There's this one, and I don't know if it's a trend, and it truly is offensive. Not only to me, who is a DJ and not a record player. Now, if you were listening to the show earlier, I told you the difference, and I'm not going to repeat it. I might. I just might, because it really irks me. They have a lot of record players up there. Their mixing is outstanding, and when I would hire a DJ at my club, and there wasn't a lot, because I was the DJ and my partner at that point in time, the original Grid, he was a DJ too. In fact, I used to idolize him. The original Grid, it was me and another DJ who did the club, and then we had a silent partner. Well, his name was David Kaminsky, and he used to spin at a nightclub called Berlin, which was over by Jacobs Field. Jacobs Field is on one side of 9th. If you just jump over East 9th Street, there's a BP. It was across from BP and across from Jacobs Field on the whatever name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's torn down now. But it used to be called Dimensions, and it was called Berlin, and then the Ritz. He used to spin there. It was called the Ritz, I'm sorry. He spun there at the Ritz at that time, and it changed to Berlin. And I went in there one night, and I'm like, oh my God, I idolized this DJ. His mixing was so insanely flawless. Mixing is important. You can't just like a radio. You know what a radio mix is? Mm-hmm. You just slam one song into another, and that's another thing about commercial radio or just regular radio or anybody who's spinning records is like, pay attention to your segue from one song into another. That it isn't like a train wreck or it's jolting of the soul. So you come out of a song that has a nice soft ending, and then you plow into it with some insane smack you across the face intro to another song. It's like, do you realize what you just did to the people listening to? They're into this nice mood. Find a song that starts out with a nice mood and then goes into something, hard or something that's going to jolt your soul. Don't just do it. It's just rude. Anyway, his mixing was flawless at the Ritz, and I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? So I went up to the booth, and I mentioned it anyway. So that was like about 1988, 87. Well, a few years later, we re-met, and that was my partner at the Grid, and we got along great. Well, we fell apart and all this anyway. I forgot the whole point of my story.
It doesn't matter. Stories don't have to have points.
They don't?
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's good, because I can't remember it.
So you were telling me off air that you have a pretty insane record collection.
I have close to 20,000 12-inch singles, yeah. You name it, I've got it.
Yeah.
And I've been, in fact, my my boyfriend at the time, back in the 80s, he had a job and I had a job, but my pit check always went into records. We would fight the mortgage is due, and we got to pay for this and the electricity. And I'm like, oh, well, I had to buy some records, honey. So, yeah, I just, most of my money went into vinyl.
Do you still buy records and stuff, or just kind of?
No, not at the point. I mean, MP3s. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, there's not a lot pressed on vinyl. There is a vinyl pressing place in Cleveland.
Yeah, Got a Groove.
Yeah, I want to go there. If anybody knows them, please, I want to go.
I have friends who work there.
Oh my God,
I've never been, but I have friends who work there.
I so want to go and just observe the process and learn and just see. I mean, to me that's like food.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God, a mouse with cheese. Give it to me, honey. I want to see that and just smell the vinyl, and it's a whole experience.
Yeah.
In fact, I pretty much have a pictorial memory when it comes to vinyl, because when you're DJing, and probably most younger DJs don't know this or haven't experienced it. When you have vinyl and you're up in the booth and you're looking for the next song to play, you don't know what it is. I never knew what I was going to play the next song.
Sure.
You don't know that. If you plan out a whole set for the night, you're an idiot, okay? Unless it is structured that way, like something on TV, but when you're in a club, there is no structure.
No, you have to feed off what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You feed off the crowd. And many times I've had a record queued up, sitting, waiting, and I've got like 20 seconds left, and I've got a mix. And we're not talking a cold mix, we're talking a mix. So one's blending over the other. And the record's queued up. Something will hit me and go, wait a minute, this is not going to work now. Something changed on the energy on the floor. And then I've got 10 seconds and I'm flipping through the vinyl, flipping through the vinyl. It's all stacked there. And there's a couple things it does. One is every time you're flipping through that vinyl, first of all, it's a tactile thing. It's an analog thing happening. You're touching the vinyl. You're seeing the record jacket. You're seeing the label. You're seeing who the artist is, what the song is. You're seeing the time, how long it is. You're seeing the color of the label. All these little things you're seeing, even though it's a split second, you're seeing it, and you're rifling through all these records real quick, and then one hits you. There's the one. You pull it out, you pop it on that turntable, you spin it real fast to get to the cue point you want, and then you start mixing that baby in, and you're pitching up and down with the pitch control to make sure it's all that. Then you're doing it. What that does is now, every time you do that, that burns another little segment of that vinyl or that experience into your memory. And that's what I did. I've always played vinyl. I mean, I still play vinyl, but it's mostly computer now, unfortunately. Yeah. I wish they had, and just physics won't allow it, but I wish there was a way to have the what's the word? The ability to have all the control. That's the word. The control you can have with MP3s and pitching and up and down. I mean, when you pitch a turntable speed up and down, it'll go from to Mickey Mouse, as you speed it up. Well, not with an MP3, and that's all computer software now. You pitch it down, and it will just get slower, but the pitch doesn't change. It doesn't go like this. Or if you speed it up, it'll go real fast and talk like this, but it doesn't go higher. It stays at the same pitch. That technology is God's gift to a DJ, because not with a turntable, you can't do that. I wish they could do that with the vinyl. I mean, you can. They've kind of figured it out, but it's a certain piece of vinyl. I want my vinyl on there, my Donna Summer I Feel Love 12-inch. I want that to be able to do it, and all that, and jump around and repeat it and all that. But you can't do that. It's only in the software.
Right.
But the point was I was getting is that as you're rifling through this vinyl, what it's doing is it's burning all this information into your memory. It doesn't do that with a computer screen printout. You're seeing a word, you're seeing a name on there, but you're not seeing what the artist or what the people who made the jacket or what the label color looks like. That's not going in. So the point of the story is I pretty much know every 12-inch I have, who made it, what label it's on, about how long it is. So, let's just say, Hot Stuff Donna Summer, Casablanca Records, 1979. It's about 6 minutes, 50 seconds. Okay? Yeah, I see the label, I see the jacket in front of me. Not with an MP3. So there's a whole different world when you're dealing with analog, which analog is much better than digital, and you know why.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 30-second explanation to people who don't know. With analog, there's infinite resolution, just like with film. Analog is infinite. There's no gaps when you record it. With digital is ones and zeros. Well, guess what? In between the 1 and 0, there's space. There's time in between a 1 and 0. That's just not there. So they have to make, so each sound you hear is a 1 or a 0 or a 0 and a 1 or a 1, 1, 1, a 0, whatever it is. But in between there's space and time that's just not there. So you're missing it. This is why audiophiles and people who are into analog know that it's so rich and full and everything is there when you're playing vinyl. And this is why I prefer vinyl, when I can use it. But unfortunately, I do fall prey to the digital.
Yeah, the simplicity, the ease of use is
exactly
very tempting.
Oh yeah, and that's okay. Real quick, when I first built the grid on West 9th, I told my partner, who was also a DJ too, he didn't want to DJ the main dance floor. He wanted to do what he called the lounge lizard during cocktail hour. He was done with the dance floor part. I'm like, fine, I'll handle the dance floor DJ. You handle playing at the lounge lizard. And
this is the DJ that you admired so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he absolutely was fabulous, and he had some 12 inches that I wanted so bad. It's like, how do I get this 12 inch from you? Because there's a lot of 12 inches that you just can't get. You can only get from another DJ, back in the day. One of the songs, I'm not trying to get off the subject here, but ABBA did a song called Lay All Your Love on Me. Came out in 1982. They didn't really do a 12-inch. They didn't do a remix. It was a 3-minute version on the LP. It was sad. Well, there was remixing labels back then that would take songs, remix them, and you bought a subscription, and you could buy the record. Okay, you could get the record, but you only subscribe. Well, somebody remixed it on Disco Net. It was called Disco Net Records, and they did ABBA's "Lay All Your Love on Me." They gave it a 9-minute mix, absolutely flawless. This is the version that every DJ who was anyone played, was that Disco Net version, and they only made like 300 or 400 copies, 500 copies to the people who subscribed, and he had one. Well, before he sold it to me, I stumbled upon somebody bootlegged these 12 inches and were selling them for $50 a copy of the Disco Net remix. I'm like, give me 2 of them right now. And then he gives me his Disco Net version. I'm like, oh my God. So those are the kind of little jewels, little gems you get when you're collecting records. Now with MP3s, it's not so much, But anyway, back to the Lounge Lizard. He was DJing the lounge. I was DJing the dance floor part. I said, this was back in 1994. CDs were just kind of coming out in the early 90s and all that. I said, I will not have a CD player in my DJ booth. It is strictly vinyl. You want to play CDs? You play them on the lounge side. I will not have one. Well, you know what happened. I relinquished eventually to play CDs on my side, but still, I'm still audio at heart, analog at heart.
Right.
So
would you consider DJing a set at the party, dusting off the vinyl?
Yes, and you have turntables.
Yeah, we have
1200s.
Yeah, it's from the station. Yeah, we're gonna be, or if we don't get them from the station, I'll get them from someone else. But yeah, we'll have 2 turntables.
Are they 1200s?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not much of a gearhead.
Oh, I'm a gearhead. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I'll do a set. Yeah, absolutely. I'll dig out the vinyl.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my word. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why not? What the hell?
Tell me what 1200 means.
1200 is the model number of these turntables.
Okay.
Techniques 1200s, and you usually you have Stanton cartridges, but Onkyo made a real nice long sleeve, long neck one, but 1200s. Yeah. These are the industry standards. They're generally run about $400 or $500. still make them, I think. But anybody who is, been in the business, or when you say you got 1200s, that's what this means.
Okay.
1200 is a model number of those.
Model number.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Of the Techniques.
Of the Techniques 1200. This is a standard DJ turntable.
Very cool. And do you ever go to clubs anymore these days?
No. Yeah, there's no reason. There's no dance clubs. There's no dance clubs. There aren't. My club was a dance club. In fact, when I first opened, every bar, every gay bar in the city had drag queens, and they were drag shows and this and that. I have nothing against drag shows. In fact, I enjoy them. But when I opened my club, it was, we don't do drag shows. We don't. It's that simple. It was just an alternative. Someplace you can go, they don't have drag shows. That's that simple. Drag queens can come in, I don't care. Oh my God, the backlash I got from some people in the community was, he doesn't like drag queens and he hates them and blah, 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 we should boycott it. And it's like, oh my God, you stupid people. It has nothing to do with not liking drag queens. Simply, we just don't do them.
Want to do something different.
It's something different. It's that simple. When I would have an event or a show, I would have a drag queen as the MC. I did have them, but we didn't do drag shows. It was that simple. I had way more people thank me. It's like, thanks, it's nice. You don't have to. Everybody has drag queens. Now we can go to someplace where they don't have them, and it's just different. I'm like, well, that was the point. It was that simple. So I've always been somebody who's out on the edge, making waves, making friends and enemies.
Yeah.
I don't. I care if I offend you, but I'm sorry if I offend you, because I'm going to blaze a trail that, few have or no one has. And, if I fall on my face, I fall on my face. But, I just pick myself up and carry on. It's that simple.
Your experience running a club, did you ever have any, I don't know, any bad, like real rough times?
No, let me tell you something. I almost never, I had a dorm. I didn't have really security. Mm-hmm. I didn't need it. Generally in the gay bars, you don't have issues. In my club, if there was something happening, I'd go right down, maybe two lovers quarreling or who knows. But there was never like knockdown fist fights and all. I would walk in and say, all right, what's the problem here, you two queens? Is there a problem? What are you fighting about? Seriously. You want to fight? You can go outside. I don't care. But could you please not fight in here? Can I buy you a couple drinks? Will that solve the problem? I would just talk them down. I wouldn't say, all right, you two fruitcakes, get out of here before I call the police. I never handled it that way. I was just like, all right, Mary, what's wrong? Did she look at another guy or who? Whatever. And it worked every time. It worked every time. You just treat people with respect. It's that simple. And, some people they just walk out, and that was the end of it. So, I never really had any problems. Like I said, we would get people from all walks of life. I had newscasters come in. I can't say who. I had politicians come in. I can't say who. Who knows what their sexual identity was. I did not care. I said, when you walk through that door, when you come in from that door outside, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the mayor or whatever. You're not the mayor. You're just another person in the club having a good time. And that's why they came, because nobody cared. They didn't fawn all over them. It's like, all right, bitch, have a good time. See ya, That was that simple. Oh, there you go.
All right, thanks again for coming down. We're just about out of time.
Oh,
3 minutes left. Anyone wants to call in real quick, 216-687-3515. Wow. Jerry will be joining. We'll be throwing a party kind of together for New Year's Eve.
When is that again?
Hype that up. That is New Year's Eve, Saturday night at the very last day of this month. And we're going to be bringing in the new year with Jerry emceeing and doing a set.
Yeah, I've got to get an outfit together and everything.
I guess do a
And what is the theme?
Well, it might be a resurrection of the grid, bringing the
couldn't be that quick. Yeah.
Here's one more caller.
Sure.
You're on the air.
Hi, Jerry. It's really nice to hear you talk about a lot of the history of the gay clubs in Cleveland and stuff, especially the grid. I feel like a lot of that stuff doesn't get talked about as much anymore, and there's kind of I feel like the current generation of gay people and LGBT people kind of exist only in their own generation. And
I agree.
I think there's a lot of factors that have caused, obviously, the lack of like intergenerational like community building and stuff. But I think it's like really great to hear this history, and especially how like intrinsically necessary DJing was, and like the live music or like dance music and like fostering a club environment was to the LGBT community. And as a DJ myself and stuff, I really appreciate that. As like a trans woman who DJs as well, it's very refreshing to hear that and to know that like people were doing clubs for the right reasons and stuff, and that, you know, while they were businesses and stuff, they weren't just like a cash grab, and they weren't just like the most like mainstream idea of gay culture, and they were something that people could find as a refuge, which I think is like a really important theme, and something that LGBT communities and communities of other marginalized people really need to like put their love and like invest into like supporting as a community.
I agree.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to checking out the New Year's party.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool, yeah. The old grid, the new old grid location on St. Clair, by the way, is just still sitting there empty. A few people have tried to do something there, but it's failed. And I don't know. What I want to do, I want to talk to the lady who was the owner of the building, who still is, and just say, I'd like to do a monthly event. Once a month.
Wonderful.
Once a month, like $20, $25 to get in, which, you know, we'll pay, you know, and just make it an event each month. You know, people will do it. It's hard to support a nightclub 7 days a week. You can't do it. You know, a couple nights a week will work, but once a month, people, okay, I've saved up, you know, everybody's on a budget. I've got enough money. I can spend $25 to go out and have a good time once a month. And I know it would work. I know, where I just need to get off my duff and do it.
Sure.
You know, so yeah.
I hope you do.
I would
go to that.
There you go.